Hey friends, it's me, Cynthia, and this is our Wednesday edition Magic Hour. And today, Azalea and I have a new kit that we worked on and put together with some of our newest beads and some we found at a show in Franklin, like, I don't know when, 3 or 4 days ago, from an Afghan dealer. That was kind of exciting. So I would like to show that. It has pearls. It has a lot of things. And what else? Sorry. Today we went to a brewery. I don't drink, and Greg doesn't drink, but we went there because there was a Filipino food truck in Asheville. And so I was like, Filipino food truck, okay. And it's Filipino barbecue. But I guess I got spoiled because I went to that, what was that fire truck? Or not, it's called Backdraft Barbecue. Ben's Backdraft Barbecue. And previously, I thought that my favorite barbecue in Asheville was 12 Bones. I would say this is the best. The best. And I went to that place and I was like, I went up to the window and I was like, hey, you guys, how come you guys didn't tell me that you were going to blow my doors off with how good this barbecue is? And at first, their faces were like they were getting ready.
Oh no, getting
for
ready
me
for
to have
a scathing review.
like a moment of like being a jerk, and they were stunned and surprised that it was the opposite. So
I
it
know
was
that
pretty,
boy, his face, I could see his
he was
his
getting ready.
Job,
He thought
his job flashed before his eyes.
it
I
was
could see
funny,
it.
but it was good. We had the beef brisket, and it was a generous big platter. So, and it was $12. I was like, yes. And so today, when we got Filipino barbecue, it was three. Well, I think it was three small, really small skewers for 12, and like the teeniest little thing of pickles. Where like I was so underwhelmed with it. I was like, oh,
Oh.
oh, I mean, it tasted good. It was good, but it wasn't that Ben's Backtrack barbecue. So it's now my new favorite barbecue. So anyway, so if you're ever in, was it Saluda, Franklin, Silva area and Spruce
Yeah.
Pine, they are in that area, and boy, it's unreal. It's so good. And hello, my friends. I see a lot of my friends with me today. Hello, Nilda. Hello, Allison. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Cecilia. Hey, friend. June is with us today. Hey, Nancy. Robin. Hello, my friends. Wendy was there. Where was the good barbecue? It was in Franklin. Although they have it's a food truck, so they were driving around and going to different events. It was really good. I tell you, I liked it. Hello, Julie. Hello, Gumnut Lane. How are y'all? I hope everybody is staying cool. It was unreal with that heat. So I don't know if other people do this, but wherever my friends live, I have it on my phone so I can see what my friends are living with. And I have Kate's is right underneath mine. So whenever I open my weather app, I see Fresno, I see Santa Rosa, I see Joshua Tree. It's like the locations of where my friends are and where my mom is. And I was like, man, these temperatures, they're off the hook. What are people doing? It had to be like insane, to be in that heat all day long. Oh, hello, Carrie. Hello, Jermaine. Oh, she's catching us from the live today, from the very beginning. Thank you. I appreciate y'all showing up today. Sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking if you're doing the show, if you're doing a stream and there's nobody on there. It can feel like I don't know. There are a few times I went live for no good reason, just because. Remember when we did that with Will and your dad, and we had music going? I was carving wax, and I was like, we might as well share this. What else are we doing with our lives? And so and at first there was no one watching. It was like 0 views. We were all kind of like, wow, should we keep going? And then like 10 minutes later, it was like 50 or 60. We couldn't hardly believe it. And that was at like 10:30 at night. So it was pretty nice. I'll say that. Oh, Pat says Franklin Silva are fun areas, lots of waterfalls. Yeah, you know what we do in Franklin? Franklin is the place to go if you want to do any rock mining because they used to do that there over in Emerald. What was that place? Emerald Village. Their mine is not. I mean, they don't. I don't know that it's an active mine anymore, but you can tour it, and they used to pull emeralds. I mean, I don't know how big of an emerald, but apparently they pulled emeralds out of the ground over there. And when we went not too long ago, we go on during the summer. It's fun. I mean, I don't go to the ones that say, I ask to say, you guys salt these mines? Or when they say salted or unsalted, salted means that they go to Tucson and they back up the truck to the specimen, super low grade, like you could get it by like the dumpster size full, huge trucks. Well, it's not the truck part, it's the container. I guess it's a container shipping flat, and it's full of like kind of low grade crystals and things. Like, I'm trying to think of what we found. One time we were at one, I was like, how are they finding like amethyst here? They don't find amethyst here. And then I realized, oh, that one we went to a long time ago with Sam. That one time, a long time
I remember
ago.
that, yeah.
And I was like, what are we doing? It's not even the right stuff. So they have actual mines in Franklin where you will find garnets, like the tumbled crystals of garnet. They're like rolling around in the creek bed. That's because I guess they grow in that crystalline structure. But round, what's the name of that shape? That's kind of like faceted round, but 8 sides, or I don't know what it's called.
I could not tell you that. I have no clue.
I don't know what it is either. Who knows? Oh, I see we have Tina. Hello, Tina. Hello, Linda. Hey, Karen. Oh, yes. Hello, Terry. So let's get this camera flipped around. Let's do something. Azalea wants to show. So during the Great Beat Extravaganza, we saw on Abby Berta's feed, she was demoing a tool called, what was that tool called? The looper? Or
One-step looper.
One-step looper. And the one-step looper is to make like a rosary chain of sorts. If you've ever seen old school rosaries, they didn't have this tool, but this is what it looks like. It'll give you that look of a rosary. So anyway, it's really cool, and it arrived a couple of days ago. Azalea's been playing with it, and she's going to show what she made, and then she's going to show me how to do it, which is going to show you how to do it. So let me get this. We're going to take a second to flip this camera around. So yesterday we had a filming with Sam's Beads, and Sam's Beads, it has his sister Rachel. She's pretty cool. We met in Tucson, I don't know, was it last year? It wasn't last year's, maybe the year before. But anyway, we did lives a couple times when we were out there, and it was pretty fun. She's cool, very easy to work with, and let me see if I can drop that down. No, I got it. Just a little challenging. Oh, I found this. We were looking at coins. Apparently Greg's grandpa collected all different kinds of coins and had a thing full of pennies. So maybe one of these pennies, I don't remember what year it was. Maybe it was in 1910. There's some penny in there that was made out of copper. And apparently it's worth like $1 million. Maybe. But anyway, look at this. We were using this with a coin so we could actually see what we were doing. Isn't that pretty cool? I think it's 10 times magnification.
That's our newest kit. I'm gonna put a link in there for that.
Duh, I start showing it and forget what I'm showing. Let me pour it into a bowl to show it.
This one is called Minerva.
Oh, this is a Minerva kit. So this one I will show you. I think it's beautiful. I kept one. Let's look at it. Pearls, pearls everywhere you look. Maybe I turn off the light. It doesn't need that bright light on it. So you can see that. Because I don't have a zoom on this. Even though StreamYard keeps promising they're going to give me they're going to do a zoom update, but they haven't so far, so. This is, yeah, I know. This is, look at all that Herkimer diamond in there. You know what I can do even better than that? How about this? Just lift it up. Duh. So we went through and looked. I found a couple places that had Herkimer diamonds. I'm kind of particular with the ones that I love. I like the double terminated ones. So that means, as I was like, what is double terminated? Because I told her to go hunt for them. And that means that they have a point on the top and the bottom. Crystals grow like this. This is one of the specimens from just on my windowsill. And generally speaking, they grow like this. So they have kind of a, like a root, if you will, or a stump that they grow out of. Sometimes they just keep growing, so it's almost like you're extracting, and they're pointed at the bottom. And when they break off, it's like this plate structure, you know, that's kind of shears off. And when the little Herkimers, when they pop off, you don't want them to be all broken. So when I look at the strand of them, when I'm getting them, I'm looking for, this is a good example. And then some of them have, let me see, maybe it's better without my hand under it. Can you see that? Double terminate. Maybe I get, now maybe this is the time for this. That's what I'm talking about. Both sides have a point. These are also very well drilled, happily. I hate it when they're drilled kind of, you know, like halfway through, and then another, and then the middle point is like it's just like barely, and so you have to go in there with a bead reamer. No fun. So anyway, these are well drilled. I got this kit put together. Like Azalea and I were like, what would look good? This was the start right here. We found these from our new friend Abdul. We usually worked with his brother Muhammad, and they're from Afghanistan, and they've been in the business for years and years and years. And sometimes they find some cool stuff, like way out in the desert. He was telling the story of these guys, and it's pretty cool. They have to find big, giant chunks of turquoise, and this is considered an old cut, but not as old as this cut. We picked out these two. This is turquoise. It's undyed. It's also from Afghanistan, and they call this cut pre-Islamic cut. So while it's new stock, they're cutting it in an old way. So this is like an antique cut. They don't, I guess they don't make that as often now. So I got what I could find. It was really like amazing, beautiful quality. So there's a lot of different kind of turquoise out there. Do you have that strand handy that I can show of the different quality of the same type of material? So when I'm talking about high grading, this is a good example of high grading. So let me see if I can find it. High grading is when you line everybody up, and you go down and you get the best of the ones on there. You're digging them out the best ones, because sometimes they will put the quantity of all of the strands together, right? So you can have these were on a similar strand or on the same hank, right? But you can see this quality. Let me see if I can find it. Is better than this. But this was on the same. He was like, this is from the same cut. So a lot of times what happens is people will buy a certain amount of stone rough. Like you buy it like this. In a slab. Just like that. This is considered rough. This is golden obsidian, if you can believe it. If I chipped that off, you could see the flash. Actually, you could see a little bit right there. So this is considered rough. And you don't know what you're going to get when you cut this. It might all be really sweet on the inside. You don't know. You can shine a light through it, or you can try. Let me show. Oh, this is not the light. Where's that light? So you can, sometimes you can shine different kinds of lights on to tell if you can see. Let me see if this one is super bright. Well, this one doesn't really show if it's going to be clear or not through it. But sometimes you can tell if you look through it. This isn't a real transparent stone, partly because it's like real black. But, come on, turn off now. So you don't know what you're going to, you just buy the whole thing. And if you're fortunate, a lot of it will be like the goodie, as I like to call it. Sometimes you get the not so goodie, which is like that color. That's turquoise, but it's like on me. What's like my friend Jamie, you guys know Jamie Yoshida from the Bead Gallery. She said it's just like cuts of meat. They'll put it all on one strand or on one hang because they're trying to get rid of it. Usually they don't mix and match between lots. I didn't know this. I thought that they all did that way. But apparently they'll put the same thing and it's up to you to pick the goods. So when I pick the things out, I get my optivisors on. Ask Azalea. I get in there. I'm not embarrassed at all. I'm like, I'm going to go put my whole face in and look with my magnifying glass and optivisors. So this is pearls, Herkimer diamond, pretty nice gem grade chrysocolla, this light blue. I tried to match it to these juicy nugs. I kept a kit. I'm going to make earrings out of this. That's my plan with these guys. I thought it was perfect. So my thought was this could either be a crochet or knotted. It could accommodate either. I believe they could get through there, don't you? When we were looking at these holes, some of these pearls are pretty small. So you might get, I would say, micro cord or 26 gauge wire would fit that pretty easily. I have this wire right here. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, I put it in the collection. Have you ever seen wire like this? It's decorative. I think it's either two that's wound together. It has a very slight, I don't think it even shows up. Can you see that?
You can kind of see the texture.
It has a texture on there. You can't even, I can't hardly feel it. It feels very, I don't know. It has a slight tooth. So that's what this, let me see if it can go through there. This is what I was going to use with the looper. She was using another size of, these have massive holes. So you could save these for a knotted one if you wanted to double knot that. Look at the size. Especially these two. They also have a big hole. Look at that. So if you wanted to do two on just regular C cord. This cord came from, where's that bag? Let me see. Designs wire. This is the bag. But I believe they're wholesale, so if you guys want, I can look into, I don't know if we can order huge quantities of it or what. If they even have, I mean, I'm sure it's. Oh, Wendy says, how can you tell one of those Herkimer diamonds versus a clear quartz besides breaking it? Probably. Well, it's all quartz. You can tell if it's glass by if it's the temperature of it. But Herkimer diamonds, the reason that, so quartz itself, they're not generally going to cut it into smaller than this. This is called a simple cut right here. Water clear simple cut. So quartz is pretty expensive when it's this clear. Usually, and I know that it sounds crazy. I know Azalea was floored when we went to that show and that guy was like, this rutilated quartz, $650. She was like, six what? $650. She couldn't hardly wrap her brain around it. It was almost too much. Oh, these will fit. So they don't usually cut quartz into this shape because it's usually machined. And when they machine cut, it's easier to program in a facet that's like geometrically the same every time. Doing a simple cut with lots of different sides is usually like they'll do it in like a rondelle and then chip around the edge. They're not going to make a grown crystal shape. And then that's when you have your optivisors and you look at them. So they're not going to cut it Nobody's going to cut it like that and polish it because that would be way too much work. And the labor for that would be, the price would reflect that. You're not going to get a cheap strand that looks like that. They're just not cheap. That's one indicator. If you're like, wow, it's kind of expensive, and they're a little bit double terminated, or they are double terminated, that's a good indicator that they are. I have not seen anyone cut like glass or anything to imitate this that actually looked like that. I've seen people, obviously there are inexpensive strands of quartz, but they will be like this. See how this is cloudy? Now, the folks that usually are the ones from Pakistan, Wendy, this is a good question. Jermaine says, are the Herkimers in the kit from New York or Pakistan? So, a lot of times you can ask, where is the rough from? This is from Arkansas. That's where the guy I bought it had a bunch of these, and he said that he pulled these off his property. He had all different sizes, and it's from Arkansas. So we do get different grades of quartz. Now, Pakistan, if it is my understanding, has a gray in the middle. Of course you can get, it's almost nowadays it's how there's no way to physically to look at it. I don't have the equipment to look and say, okay, this is from, I can tell by looking at this that this is from New York and then this one's from Pakistan. But what this dealer that I met in Tucson told me a few years ago was that a lot of the Herkimer has a gray striation from Pakistan. Like it's almost like rutiles if you look closely, or it looks like a little bit like mica or something in there. And Wendy says, I wasn't sure if they'd try to pull off quartz for diamond. You could tell you could tell that right away. They have a tool called, and you can get this on Amazon, and it can test the light refraction, and they can put it right up against a diamond of any color. And even though it might be like, this is quartz. This was mined, like, I want to say this is in Arkansas. The guy that cut this is a really well-known lapidary guy out in Tucson, and it's not a water clear as far as like being super perfect. It has refractions or inclusions, like kind of like a not a crack necessarily, but a growth line, and I get little rainbow flashes. I like it, but some people would say, well, it's not real perfect. But you see that? It's just a nice look. But anyway, usually inexpensive quartz will be like this. It's kind of cloudy. You can tell glass, if it's glass, by the temperature. You hold it. If it feels heavy and kind of cool, like stones, real stones, they feel kind of cool. Glass takes on the temperature of its surroundings. So that's one way. If someone's going to sell me something, I just hold it in my hand. And if it feels like, I don't know, it just feels, there's a certain feel like real stones have a coolness to them. What else was I going to show? Oh, I was going to show that looper. Get over here and show that looper. That's what we were doing. Busy talking about Herkimers. So you can't trick anyone for a diamond. At least, the one way that people look right away is diamonds don't have, like, they don't, it has a cold sparkle. Bring it over here. Get in here while you're
move the stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to show it.
All right, show them this real quick. I'm bringing my stuff over.
Anyway, diamonds have
She's still talking about them diamonds.
Okay, I'm just, it's like they don't have rainbows. That's it. Usually moissanite crystals, they have splashing diamonds, diamond sparkle. That's the refraction. Oh, so the kit is on the website. Azalea was dropping it.
The link is in there, and the banner is showing that.
Okay, this was what we had last. What was it? Sunday we showed this and sold them.
It might have been. I think so. We had this whole strand of.
They're ombre. Let me get out of the way.
All right, Mom. I have now.
She's gonna show me.
So we had these whole strands of ombre amber. It looks like mostly the same color right now, because they're just real pale right here. And this is the other end of this. What I'm making right now, so you can see where that colored and then it shifts into this darker. I am making a string of waist beads, which who knows how well that's going to work out. I've never made that before. I just figured I wanted the entire ombre effect of the amber, so I'm just using the whole strand, and that's the first thing that came to mind. So, it'll probably get over my bubbly belly and then bust immediately, but we'll just see. So, oop. I just got this from, what is it, the bead place? Abby. So I just got this from her on her recent GBE. She had this showing on her thing. So I got this. It's 1.5 millimeter. This takes some practice. This is a new product. I've seen people testing it on the internet all over the place, but I'm just going to show you how I've been doing it. So if you look at it, there's these two little divots here, kind of a cylinder here, and a hole on this side, and that's where some of your wire comes out, but I barely ever use that because that's kind of a lot of waste, so I try not to waste my wire. So basically you take your wire, this is copper 22 gauge, and you're gonna have to use a wire that's not gonna bend super easily, because if you look at these loops, they're not wrapped, they're not wire wrapped. You could probably, but then you won't need this, because this whole thing, this spot right here where my thumbnail is at, when that makes contact right there, it cuts the wire for you. So you won't have any excess to wrap. So it's kind of bent down and then together, and that's it. So disclaimer, if you pull and pull and pull, I tested this earlier, and it did not break immediately. It just opened, it kind of opened the loops, and then when I set it on the table like that, it unlooped, but I did not have to actually replace anything. I just closed the loops again, so it was all fine. But that's just one thing you need to know before you get this, is that you're going to need a wire that is hard to bend. This is, like I said, 22 gauge.
Like a work hardened.
Yeah, work hardened. Yeah, you need something that when you bend it, it's hard to bend it back. So that's copper wire. So here's what I've been doing. I've been taking my wire, and I've been it's hard to get it focused, inserting it right here, and then as you close it, it kind of snips off that tiny little piece, and it closes the wire for you, and then as you're in the full clenched mode, you can push this down just a little bit and get an almost perfect loop. Now if you see that, I did not put that far enough out, so I didn't clip that there, but that's not super important right now. So then you can take your bead. Forgot to clip this. I'm going to give this just this amount because it doesn't need a lot. And then I'm going to slide my bead on. So it basically made kind of a head pin. We can actually, real quick, clip that weird tail that happened here because I didn't snip close enough. There we go. So that's what that looks like. And then I put it back into the same spot it was before. I move it all the way so the bead is touching right here, so it's as far in as it can go. And then I start to clench it, squeeze it, but before it closes, when you have a little gap right there like this, if I can get it in the light where it's not looking goofy, I left a gap. That's when you can link it on. And then you can take these. This I don't know. I have not seen anybody do it in a different way than I'm doing it right now. Then you can use these. These are crimping pliers. Aren't they crimping pliers? Mm-hmm. I'm stuttering all over the place. I had a pool day and I'm so sleepy right now. All right, and then I just closed it, and that's it. It's so simple. But yeah, if you pull it super hard, like see, I'm pulling it and pulling it and pulling it.
If you want that to be extra, if you wanted those to not open for sure, you could always smash them with pliers. Remember how I showed you to work harden them?
Yeah.
And then they will look faceted. That'll add strength to it if you smash that thing flat. But, that's choice if you want it to look that way. It's kind of like my chain that I'm wearing. I forgot. I was just about to say. Let me see. I got this chain. You can drop the link in a minute.
Yeah, she'll show the chain in a second. So this is how far I've gotten. And you know what? While this is an interesting method to use that I am new to using like everybody else. I mean, for the longest time, this said patent pending. So this is like a super new product. This has not been around for a long time. So this section I did here that's about 10 inches, I did in 30 minutes.
Wow.
So it's pretty good and fast if you need to make something quickly, and I would say that it is sturdy enough for most projects. And like anything, I mean, even wire wrapped heavily things that I've made before broke when I
Sometimes
pulled
it
it.
can.
Sometimes jewelry breaks. So this is not like extremely sturdy, but when you use the right wire, it says on the package you can use 18 to 24 gauge. I'm using 22 gauge. Um, it works out. It's working for me so far, and this is how far I've gotten using this amber. So I'm going to probably make the rest of this, or almost the rest of this, probably add a chain to the end of it to make it an adjustable string of waist beads, but we'll see how that goes.
That could be also, you could double it and it's a necklace, or triple it even.
Yeah, I
I
could. I
love that.
love.
They are so perfectly matched. I love them. Good job.
Yeah, and then Pat says, or you can fix the loops with your round nose. I always close them. Great tip for doing dangles. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most of the time the looper, when you do that first bit, like when it's still connected to the spool, 9 times out of 10 when I do it, it closes the loop all the way for me. But sometimes I do take these to smash it down a little bit. And the reason I take these is because the ridges in there keep it from like slipping around all over the place, and you can get your grip pretty much immediately when you press them in. Um, yeah, Lisa, this is the one-step looper. I got this from the bead place from Abby. This is the 1.5 millimeter loop, but when we were at our most recent show, I saw them for 2.5 millimeter, and I think you can get them on Amazon too. They're around right in like the $30, $36 range. So
Yeah, but I would get them from Abby, the
I
bead
get
place.
them from Abby because she gets them. You know, I mean, hers is the same price as everybody else, and you want to support your friends. So yeah,
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
shipped within the week, and I got it just a couple days ago. So
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
that's that. You want to go, or do you want me to show it again? Is it your
Show
turn?
it with that. Go show those beads. You're doing such a good job with all the beads.
You want me to do it again?
Yeah, show those beads. Where'd they
All
go?
right.
Oh, here they are. Use that pretty wire.
Oh, use this.
That right
Oh,
there and
okay. You
see.
want me to use these beads? Okay, she doesn't want me to
No.
work on my thing anymore. I'll show this.
And
Okay,
then show how
so
you can flatten it. But I wouldn't flatten that wire. This
this.
is. Oh, I was
What is
gonna.
it? Show it.
No, I was gonna. You can show that my chain.
Okay. So this is some sterling silver paperclip chain that
But
we
it's
just picked
flattened.
up.
It's
Oh yeah, it
flattened.
is. It is flattened.
That's what we were talking about. When sometimes when you flatten it, it can look like that. If you smash it with pliers, with flat face. What do you call those pliers? Flat nose? Chain
Flat
nose?
nose, I thought.
Flat. Yeah.
So we have these on the website too, and I could put a link for that in the description and just or link in the description, a link in the comments in a second. Oh, this tool has been around for at least 5 years.
Oh yeah,
Well,
because it was patent pending. It's
yeah.
now fully
Okay,
patented.
when I say it's new, I mean new to me. I hadn't seen it until about 2 months ago, or maybe a little bit longer. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody heavy in the jewelry, like in the wire wrapping, they probably saw that first, but not me. So, I'm gonna start working on this, I guess. Let's see. I have not looked at these beads much for work, but we'll see if this stuff will fit on this 22 gauge wire.
I
This is
tested
that.
some Herkimers. They fit. You could test.
Oh, that's good.
You could test those little beautiful sky blue rice pearls.
Okay,
I
so
think
I'm pretty
those.
sure this is 22 gauge,
Let's see if it works with that.
copper coated. So I insert it. And you can insert just a little bit more because it will cut the excess.
I
And you know
love its
what? Look at that.
texture.
First try, and it did not close it all the way. So sometimes I do have to get in there because I just got this and I have not figured it out completely. But that, you know what? It saves me time anyway because if anybody says that they can wire wrap faster than this, I applaud you because I can't. It takes me forever. It takes me forever to wire wrap anything because I like it to be particular. I like it to all be the same size, and I like it to have the same amount of wraps. So I just made that head pin like I showed, and I'm gonna slide that Herkimer diamond on.
Perfect for earrings because they're not load bearing. You don't. It doesn't matter if they. Who's going to be tugging on them?
So when you put this in and you have like a lot of excess wire, there's a hole right here, and you can slide your excess wire into that hole. If I can find it on camera. There you go. So you want your bead to be pressed up. Dang, I can't see. So the bead is pressed up right against this little leg right here, and the excess wire is poked out that hole, and then you just squeeze. and then it closes it for the most part. But we're gonna have to go and close it a little better.
Mm-hmm, because it looks like an old rosary.
Sorry, I'm getting close to my face. I have a habit. Yeah.
Looks good.
Look how pretty that is.
I like that color of wire, and I love that little bit of detail.
Put that down here for a second.
Yeah, texture. It's beautiful.
Okay. So, which one should we do next? Pick a bead.
Do one of these. Do one of those small pearls. I want to see if it fits.
Ooh, that's close. Closing. Let's move this out a little bit because I don't think people can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Which pearl? Oh, the rice pearls. Snip. So it makes tiny little head pin. I don't like wasting wire. I know the whole point of it is to cut it, and it's all this cutting of the excess wire, but I try to snip it as close as I can. Oh, Katney says you can break the neck tube before you remove your loop. Alright. I don't know what that means, but I assume I'll figure it out. Okay, let's see. Where's the hole? Oh, it's at the end. Okay. So, it's fitting so far, but it looks like I have to twist a little bit. It's almost to the other side. You know those beads that are like they're drilled halfway in and then halfway the other side?
To see.
It is a pretty big, it is a 22 gauge wire.
Usually for that size pearl.
But it's almost all the way out the other side, so yeah, I don't know. We probably won't get that one. Alright, let's try something else. What else do you want to try? You want to try maybe... This is a humongous hole.
That's like you could drive a truck through that.
You can drive 18 gauge to that, probably. So, Azalea, someone showed on a video you can also make a figure 8.
Ooh.
Okay. That sounds good. I've never done that. Oh, see, actually, you know what? That doesn't look like that's enough wire for this big piece. This piece is longer, and if you can't get it up there, it's going to be hard to squeeze it. We can try it. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Nice. That was satisfying.
Oh, I closed it all the way. I can keep it a little open. I can open it up just a little.
Oh, I can't believe I saw you open it with opening the neck.
You have to squeeze it.
Go sideways.
You have to squeeze it down
sideways.
Anyway. It was already open enough. All right, here we go. So now they're just linked together. Squash it down. I think it works out pretty good. It works out for me, and I like it. I bought it for me. I didn't buy it for anybody else. I didn't buy it for any sort of business. We're not selling them. We're just showing it off. So that's 2 beads on that.
That's
and yeah, I think I'm pleased with it. I think it's going to be really pretty. We can probably make
I love
pearls on there.
That colorway together. It's like a perfect sky blue with puffy golden clouds. It's actually, now that I look at it, it's making me think of a Maxfield Parrish painting.
Okay, that one fits. We'll try this one next. All right. Oh, that one didn't cut. Weird. That never happens. The cutter usually works, but you know what?
It's easy enough.
Yeah, snip that. Snip again. Grab that pearl.
Oh, yeah. I picked out the most lustrous.
I just noticed how atrocious my nails are. Y'all don't look at that. Yeah, that's odd. What happened there? Why is the wire not cutting?
Kalite says, hey, Zelia, can you put all your beads on the wire and pull each one up to loop? Maybe save even more wire. Huh. Yeah. Why couldn't you do that? Yeah, it seems like that would work, right? You just put them all on the spool and then go.
Beads on the wire and pull each one up to loop. Maybe even save it. Hey, that's smart. I didn't think about that. You're going big brain season, Kalite.
Oh, I know. Get in there.
I'm getting warm. All right.
These lights.
So I'm just gonna string a few things on here. Let's see. What about
this? I doubt it. Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
that's right.
Shocker. That would not surprise me. You know what? Someone was like talking about that round beads are so boring, and I was like, no way. They're like tiny planets.
So,
exactly like a tiny planet.
Let's see if this works.
The consonants there. Yes.
Something's wrong, I think. Something happened because it's starting to not here we are demoing it, and the cutter is getting kind of weird. It's not working so good. Huh.
Just trim off fresh
Interesting.
and see. Maybe it's going without a bend.
Well, look, it's supposed to cut it. And then instead of cutting it, it's bending it. That's
Maybe
weird.
it's that wire.
It probably is, because I didn't have that problem with my other wire.
Because this is a twisted it's two wires twisted together to make that spring-like texture.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, Donna, I'm with you. Round beads are not boring.
So I'm not
Any
really
bead,
sure.
I love beads in general, but round ones, it's the natural order. It's a water droplet. It's perfection.
So I'm thinking, Colite had a good idea. Yes, she says now, although might depend how the second loop gets made. Well, I think actually, no matter what, you have to trim it like you usually do. So I guess it saves you the time of having to string it afterwards, but you still have to snip and do this second loop. And this wire is a little bit goofy.
Yeah.
So I've got that bead as close as I can. Oh, there we go. Cut it. Thank God.
You did it.
Yeah. And then we'll close it up a little better. If they get in there. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Though it's barely in focus. I wish this goofiness would not focus on my crusty fingernail polish and instead focus on the beads. Goofy. Lisa says, Azalea, what kind of cutter are you using? Whatever this cutter is, I stole from my mom's stash.
Oh, that's a Zuron cutter.
Zuron.
I have
Nice
every
and dirty.
different kind of cutter. Every kind.
So, we got this. We'll do it again. There we go. Nice.
It's pretty fun.
It is fun. It's fast, and I like going fast, especially with like it's good because I have a bunch of these little cheap that amber beads. Oh, you're getting in on the comments, huh? Okay. These big round beads need a little extra wire because when you push this in there, you can't get it as close. I know I keep veering off camera. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So I keep closing up my loops and forgetting to leave them a little open. So that one's halfway. Let's go ahead and loop that to something else. And then
you could make a whole, I bet you could make a pair of earrings so fast with that. Just a one chain, like a chain of one after another.
Yeah, you could.
And then they're done.
Yes, yeah, it's taking me a very little amount of time to make that waist beads.
I love how those looked. I was happy with those. And I was happy to find those. You know, I didn't see them for a long time. And especially with the price of amber going through the roof, I was kind of afraid I'd never see them again. I was happy I could recreate my necklace for my friend Sarah. Oh, did we say that we put those on the website? I got extras.
We did, but since I've been sitting here doing this, I haven't put a link to it yet.
Oh. I was gonna, you know what I'm gonna do with this? I'm going to
getting too close to the camera. Too close to the camera, too far away from the camera. I am not as skillful with the camera as my mom. Nilda says I also use 22.
It's a good size.
Yeah, this is 22 gauge, but like we said, it's got that texture, which is pretty, but it's also kind of messing with the cutters on this. I haven't had any trouble with this, because this is just straight up copper wire with like some sort of tint on it.
It's like plated.
Yeah, 10 yards gauge. I got this in Franklin.
Yeah, who knows how that's going to be. We usually like craft wire from Softlex. They have the best. The best.
Yeah, these people had it on sale, and I wanted to experiment. And I asked the lady, and I was like, you know, I bought a one-step looper, and it's in the mail right now. It's coming over. And I need a wire that is not going to bend super easily and open my loops.
Yeah, this is the kind we usually use. And it works fantastic.
Non-tarnished copper. See, yeah,
beautiful.
I want that. We need some that is... Yeah, is that 22 gauge?
I believe it is.
Yeah, see, here's some 22 gauge.
Nice and thick.
This is the same. It's both copper, both 22 gauge. And they're both around the same type of like neither one feels harder or softer to bend. So yeah, maybe I could have used. I didn't even know we had this. Of course, I should have known we had this, but you
I
know,
like it. I have tested
whatever.
every brand of wire, every single
Oh yeah, I was
brand.
working on this.
You want to see Parawire? I got you.
Show them
You
the
want to
Parawire.
see DIY
What is
brand?
this?
Also got you.
This is
That's Parawire.
24 gauge. You know, I would not personally like. They say they can go 18 to 24 gauge, but in my opinion, with a tool like this, the thicker the better.
If you can use it.
The
Sometimes
thicker
the
the
beads
better.
won't fit it, though.
Sometimes the beads will not fit. If I could have with my waist beads there, I would have used like 20 to 18 gauge because
Sure, you want it thicker.
I like it thick. I like thick wire. I like it a lot.
I think everything has its place. So.
This shape is a little bit difficult since it's curved. So I might have to wiggle in there in a different angle. Hey, and it even worked. Can you believe that? Could have done that with a different tool though.
I do have gold wire. At first I was like, Wendy, I don't have any gold wire. But actually, I have a little bit. I bought it for my pearl project, or my opal project. Oh, I have some of that from Beetalon. Yeah, that stuff's kind of stiff.
Stiff is what you want.
Yeah, sometimes. It depends.
For this tool, you want stiff as possible.
That's the thing, is there for every type of wire, not brand, but type, there's a project for it. So if you're doing dead soft, that's like annealed, real super bendy, that purpose is decorative wrapping or something like this. If you wanted you had really soft wire, this is a chair. I'm not done with it. I'm gonna wrap, like all this. If it's half hard, it would be like a misery to do that. So half hard would be fine for like the outside of your project, or like load bearing, if you will. But decorative, you'd want something where you could wrap and keep on going, that it's not going to be so stiff.
So I saw a comment up here that was asking, is this a tool that we need? So if you guys want a tool, like if you want an honest review, I would say that this is good for what I said to use it for, but if you want to do fine wire and fine jewelry and tiny beads, I would not recommend this, because the wire required, like, you have to have it thick, because it does not have any way for you to wire wrap it sturdy. And if you use 24 gauge, you can put that necklace on once, and then it's probably gonna, a cool breeze is probably gonna disassemble your necklace without a twist. But if you have like 18 to 20 gauge wire or 22 gauge wire, then yeah, you should, like, if your beads can fit on that and you want it to go quick with this, then yes, I would recommend it, because it's making me go super fast with this kind of project. And this kind of project is going to be going on my waist. Like, if I wear like a bralette crocheted or a crop top or something, then this is like a little decorative thing. But it's not like, I'm not going to put a lot of strain on it. And I'm not going to be, it
isn't something that needs to support. I don't know. I think if you were actually doing, like, we were seeing those body chain things. Remember we were looking at that on Pinterest? I think that would be a cool way to do it, Like,
yeah, because then you wouldn't have to hand wrap each and every other thing. If you wanted to do like that body chain art where you have it where it's like those, like, one chain down the chest with beads, and then like under the chest around the back, and you want to do all this like intricate stuff, that's going to be a lot of chaining and a lot of looping, then I would recommend this with thick wire, because then you'll be moving so fast you could make that in an afternoon. But wire wrapping that whole thing would take you forever, because it takes me forever to wire wrap. I don't know. I know some people are really masterful with their wire wrapping, but I am slow. So
I think that's good too. If you have, like, that would be good if you have issues with your hands. Sometimes my knuckles are, like, I'll get clumsy with my wraps because my knuckles will swell.
I will drop a link to those chains now. Show these chains one more time.
Okay. Oh, so I bought this to put, they're 24 inches. I like a longer chain. If you wanted it to be shorter, you could always trim it. You could just trim off from this side, whatever. My idea for this chain is I'm going to get these head pins like this. I have some short ones. Little shorties. Where'd they go? There should. Oh, here we go. So I have these little short ones. And oh, this would be a good one for the looper. Except that that's kind of short, huh? Is that too short to do the looper?
No, you just use a small bead.
Yeah, I only have 10. I don't know if what I bought this. So I have a bunch more, but I put 10 on the website to share. My idea with this was I'm going to bring them to a show.
Yes, Lisa, it is.
She just dropped the link for
There's
it.
a link in the comments and a little banner going across the screen. It is on the website right now.
So my idea for that was I wanted to do a rainbow. Does that sound good? But then I thought, maybe it would be more beautiful to do. I love adding stones to paperclip chain because it has a lot of kinetic feeling. And this chain, I love it. It's at first when I bought it, I was like, I'm going to put those in liver of sulfur the second I get home. Then I couldn't find the liver of sulfur, so I was like, you know what? I actually like it like that. But if I do find it, I'll do a test and show you. It's funny because most people prefer it like this with that brilliant, what do they call that kind of mithril on Lord of the Rings? Is that elven silver mithril, whatever they call it? I pulled that knowledge out from 1982 when I read that. But I wanted to do a rainbow, like starting with like little, I thought rounds would be kind of festive. But you know what? I don't know. I think it might be pretty with like the smallest types of little rainbows, kind of like almost like maybe champagne diamond colors would be pretty, kind of a neutral. Then you could work with everything. But I did have the idea first. The first idea was to put little head pins and then do not this size of bead, but where'd those ones go? A whole bag of them over here. Pull these out. If I have some in this square format, that'd be cool. So let me see. I've got these. See if that would fit it. That's a purple. What is that? Get it. Can't get it. It's always when I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I'll do it real quick. And then I can't find the bead hole of that. There we go. That's kind of small. I don't know. Maybe too small. Let's see. What do you think? Is that too small? Might be kind of get lost. Depends. I think that would be a good job for the one-stepper. Okay, I'm going to try it. From what I remember Azalea doing. Azalea, come watch me. Come watch me.
Well, alright, so insert that right here and have it pressed flush to those two pieces. See that? You want it to be this piece and this piece. You want it to be like this. Flush to it. Now squeeze.
That's too much room.
That's just how it works. There you go. And then now you're going to have to close it because sometimes the loops is not perfect.
Ooh, that's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's too much room, you mean? Oh, I didn't realize you already had a bead on there. I didn't see it. It's so tiny, I didn't even know you already had a bead.
Well, I was just testing it. So that's kind of interesting. What if I did one where they were almost like fringe, like a bunch of them, but not with a teeny tiny little bead on the end? Could be. It's kind of interesting. What if it was like you had it where it was like long and then medium and then small? That could be kind of cool. Almost like fringe. I don't know. I was just thinking of something more to add to the movement because this chain is kind of like flippy and fast. It looks faceted to me. So anyway, I'm not going to do that, but that's a good idea. I like how Cherie says, hello, ladies.
Hi.
And then automatically my brain goes to that thing with Beastie Boys, you know. Hey ladies. And then somebody in the comments get the response in there for me. Nobody's Beastie Boys. My 90s are showing. Okay, anyway, I don't know why I was showing that head pin for. It blended right into the background. It is a little bit busy. Do you think this is busy? Because I think I need to make another one that's not quite so rainbow pastel. Dig all that out. Sherry's got my back. Oh, all right. Oh, don't forget on Friday, that thing I was talking about with Rachel from Sam's Beads is going to air. So we recorded it yesterday, and it will be going live tomorrow night. What's today? No.
So today is Wednesday.
Wednesday. No, so 2 nights. Friday night. That's right. So I think the time, you'll have to look at their schedule. I think it's at 8 on the East Coast is when it's airing. So if you want, check it out. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not, but I don't think they're watching it, but I'm going to show you what I'm making. I'll show it really fast. I don't know if they would like that, but it seems like they should. Anyway, this is what I made during the segment. And it's funny because every time I'm on with Rachel, I will get a finished piece done before we hang up. Isn't that crazy? And in 1 hour, and we're talking and chatting. I don't know how we do it. It's like magic. So anyway, if you want to learn about this way, it was just design talk, you know, and looking at their kit. It was pretty good. So they sent this to me, and this is in that kit. So anyway, that's what's happening with that on Friday night. If you're looking for something to be a part of and want to see what's what that's going on, we will also be going live on Sunday. So, all right, I'm going to flip this around. So that was pretty fun. We got to look at the one-step looper. It got its patent. And, you know, I know that these have been around. I think I've seen them before, not exactly this. And someone gifted me a kind of a terrible pair of I think they were supposed to be loopers. They were a type of pliers that cut, but I could never get them to make a clean cut. They kind of flattened one side or made a notch, if I'm not mistaken, and I didn't use them because I couldn't get it to where there wasn't a tiny little bit of a dent in my crimp. And I kept thinking, that's just making a weak point. I couldn't figure out how to not get that. So this is pretty nice. It feels good. Good hand. The build quality feels pretty good. We did see some. Where did we test that one? I feel like we tested them at there was another show I saw like a month or two ago. These feel a little bit higher quality than the ones that I don't know where I saw them. But anyway, we got them at Abby's company, the bead place, if you would like those. All right, today we showed our newest kit. It's very limited because I went through and I matched. The guy let me match. Can you believe they were letting me do this? I had my optivisors. I was like, listen, I got my optivisors. This is in public, y'all. I'm like this. Get in there. And then people were coming up to me and asking me the prices of things. I'm like, I don't work here. I'm just shopping. Oh, Sherry says, how do I keep the gap away from between the loop and the bead? I push the bead up against the edge of the looper. Yeah, I could see that.
It just, you know what I would recommend?
I think it depends on the bead. Sometimes if you got a bulgy bead.
But I learned this trick. I have these forceps that grip. They're locking forceps. You squeeze them, and they don't come undone unless you pop them away from each other and open them. So what I like to do is when you're holding up the bottom loop and you're about to close the top loop of your bead, you can hold it with this, and then it makes sure that your bead is fallen all the way to the bottom and it's flush with your bottom loop. And then when you're gripping it with something other than your sweaty fingers, it's easier to keep it closer to the thing. So that's just what I did, and it worked out for me.
Good. That's nice. That's a good idea. Anyway, thanks y'all for joining us today. We had a good time.
Oh, do you want to We didn't show these.
Oh,
this is like the 4th time you've asked me to do this, and we need
you
to
know,
do it.
I've had several people ask me about this.
That's the one thing
and the one thing I keep forgetting. So I have 3 we made of my gua sha in shibuichi, which is silver and copper, and it's naturally antimicrobial, meaning germs and bacteria do not grow on this. And it's funny, I just read during 2020, I remember reading about how the copper smelters, I guess that they're copper workers in Victorian London, had the least amount of effect to the Black Plague. And they were doing research. They said, why is this? Well, a lot of their door handles and just things around the house that they used that were made in metal were copper.
Wait,
and this was in Victorian times. So a lot of things that are made in copper don't, like if you touch it, and you know, it was that fad a few years ago when they're like, keep it in your pocket and you can rub it, and then you're not going to get, it's antimicrobial, antibacterial, because it won't grow on this. So I designed mine to be like this shell called a wing shell, and I designed it to use on myself, because if I'm going to make a tool, I'm going to make it pretty. And I made a little ball on the end, and I textured the surface so it had a tactile quality and a thumb, so your thumb can go and you can kind of get in there and mash different muscle groups. But I made this for my hand and for my face, so I put it around and do a face massage. I'll do a video to show it, but I have 3. If you're interested, these are solid sterling, or not sterling, they're shibuichi. It's copper and silver. I carry one in my pocket all the time.
There's a tag on that one.
Okay, so if there's any interest, I have 3. You can email me at this email right here. I have only the 3 right now. I've got some waxes queued up. I know a few of you were asking about them to be in sterling.
Slot 269.
Silver is also antimicrobial, so it's a good thing. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to use it on my face because then you have germs on it or whatever, that was the thing I thought of, because I have a gua sha in jade. I have one in rose quartz. I have some in steel. I don't want to act like I have some kind of fixation with gua shas, these face scrapers or muscle scrapers, but I kind of do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have one in pure copper that I ordered a few years ago on Etsy, and when I got it, I was like, am I a dummy or what? I could have made this like a big dummy. I bought one, and it was $80-something for just copper, and it was hammered. I could have made it like 3 times over with something in the basement. So anyway.
We only have one left now.
Oh, well. Oh, and I extended this. Is also, you could use it to do the hair, like you can do scalp massage, because you have a band of muscle that starts here and goes all the way back to the back of your head. And if you get that tight, it can cause a lot of problems with blood flow to your head. And if that gets stiff, it can cause kind of like premature aging. And not like I'm obsessed with aging or anything, but it does feel pretty good on the back of your neck. I use it all the time.
You sold all
So let me know what you guys think. I will do a video if you'd like. And also, let's do a little Zoom party. You guys think of a good day that would be fun to get together. I would like to do that soon before we leave for Fresno. We'll, I mean, if needs must, I guess we'll do that in Fresno. But it was fun when we had that little get together the last time we did that. We were kind of limited from Zoom, but it would be pretty cool if you guys had questions about any of the techniques that we've gone over. That'd be kind of fun. We can crochet together, knit together, what have you. All right, friends, I am going to take a quick walk around the block and get some dinner. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. We will be live again on Sunday at 7. So if you have the time and you would like to join us, you can tune in then. And even better, if you share and like and comment, we would love it. So we love you all out there, and we hope to see you on Wednesday and Sunday. All right. See y'all later.